My name is Erin Ball. My pronouns are she and her. I am a white femme. I'm a double below knee amputee, and I'm based here in Cataraqui, Kingston.
And I'm Bon Evans. I'm a white male musician here in Kingston, Ontario.
This week at the Grand, Bon Evans and I have been exploring a combination of circus, music, and creative access. We've been working in consultation with Amy Amonte. So we've been working digitally with her. She's based in BC. And basically the concept has been, can lyrics work as access for blind and partially sighted folks, and also not overwhelm other folks and be interesting for everybody?
It's been a very interesting process, something that's unlike anything else out there. Working with the consultants has been amazing. Working in this space, the Grand Theatre, with the sound and lighting techs has been absolutely phenomenal. To have them at our beck and call every moment. Whenever we're ready to do something, they're right there to help us out, and it's been phenomenal. Absolutely appreciate the entire experience.
My name is Amy Amonte. I use she, her pronouns. I identify as a white settler, and I live with legal blindness. My role was to help consult around their creative access and putting description into lyrics of a song. Totally cool idea. There's a very traditional sort of setup of audio description, which is something that a lot of blind and partially sighted folks are familiar with. But when the artist has control of, putting together their creative access, there's a lot of exploration that can be done. And I had not seen or heard a lot of description in musical lyrics. And so when Erin and I had initially discussed this idea, I got really, really excited about it, because I think it's one of the ways in which we can include description, play it for an entire audience, whether they have blind folks or no blind folks in the audience, and everybody gets really great benefit out of that. And I think that that's one of the things that's really exciting about the whole sort of creative access kind of realm.
Reaching up, look up to the top, lift off the ground, lift off the ground, spinning around, hair flying all over the place. Upside down, her leg reaches out and crosses through that hoop, pulls herself up, slowly stretches out, looking out over the crowd. She's spinning around above the ground as her red hair flows through the air, and the dreams she weaves will not deceive her memories.
I guess the whole thing started as kind of a question of, is this even something that can work? And when we talked to Amy about it, she had never heard of it, and she does a lot of consulting around access for blind and partially sighted folks. I guess the thing that really stood out to me was how natural and obvious it feels. I really hope that moving forward, this is something that more and more people can integrate, because I think it can open up a lot of opportunities and really change how creative description is incorporated into art, and specifically theater, dance, circus.
There was this conception at one time that you should just sort of give this laundry list of movements. That's what I call it. It's a laundry list of movements or actions, and let the person with the sight loss figure out for themselves what's happening. Although we're talking about circus performance here. So if you've had sight in your life and the privilege of experiencing circus, you may have a visual memory of it. If you've never experienced it, it's kind of a hard thing to wrap your brain around.
It's been a process to try to incorporate it from the beginning, rather than having it be something that's added on at the end.
I was in particular, I was very interested in the way that the metaphors and the descriptive words, instead of just saying she spins and spins, say, well, what does she spin like? Does she spin like a top? What else spins? Or even comparing something to train tracks, like the silks behind us, how they go up off in the distance, kind of like train tracks would. I thought those kind of ideas that the consultant brought into it was absolutely priceless, as well as it really does build an imagery, and when people speak, they forget that. They have that responsibility to build that imagery a little bit with their words.
This is not a story about overcoming or inspiration. It's a journey. We all have them. Most people's standard climb involves wrapping their feet. I use my inner thighs. I get a lot of fabric burns in awful places.
At the bottom, climbing those silks, 2 hands out of work, pulling her up quick. Legs below, scissoring the fabric. She finds different ways to keep her habit.
I could do this with my prosthetic legs, but they're heavy, awkward, and they get in the way. I'd rather be on the fabric with just my body.
As she climbs up to the halfway spot, like 2 railroad rails, they're leading her to the top. She grabs tight with both of her hands. She's getting ready to speak to us again, oh yeah.
Sometimes people try to tell me that I'm cheating because I'm lifting less weight. I actually think it's the opposite. There are no standards for non-footed folks, so I have to figure out most things on my own. Sometimes people try to tell me to point my toes.
Description needs to serve the user, and it needs to serve the piece. And a piece like what Erin has constructed with this circus performance is a very different piece than watching, reality television or something like that. And so we have room in these artistic pieces to be able to say to the artist, not only can you describe it to us, but tell us what you want us to know, how it makes you feel in the moment, because that's a real strong tie for me. Whether I'm looking at the Mona Lisa or a piece that is a circus piece like what we've experienced here, I kind of want to know a little bit about the impact of the piece on my describer as a human. For other artists that are exploring creative access, there is not a lot of access available for many arts and culture pieces. It's just the nature of things. And there aren't enough professional describers available to describe everything. And so I would really love to empower artists to look into how they incorporate access into their pieces. So whether that's, integrated description into a documentary or into a stage production, or integrating sign language into parts of your production, however that looks in a creative way for you, I would encourage the exploration with that, but I would also encourage the consultation from the community that you're trying to reach. Nothing about us without us is a really important concept. This is not about doing something for us, it's about doing something with us that we all benefit from.
Now she climbs and swings her body to get up, using her 9-footed parts in a different way gets tough. Upside down as she stretches and leans, one hand on the silk and the rest in between.